IPMNation.com.
Previously on Angry Drunk Tales.
Just a bad memory. Doesn't know when to go away. Hope you enjoyed your evening, because it's the last one you're going to be having here.
Be angry.
I'm kind of tired of half-breeds and moochers and strangers hanging around here.
Me write angry emails.
That does not give you a key to this house.
You really are a miserable human being.
Well, I'll be a lot less miserable with you out of my life, that's for sure. Hi.
Episode 25, A Parting Shot. Or is it?
Me still angry. Me continue to write long, rambling, drunken emails. Me continue to be angry over incident several weeks ago. Me have emotional intelligence of 5-year-old child. Me bitter and frustrated with myself over being drunken 300-pound tub of shit. Me undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. Me
asshole, major asshole.
Me write angry emails. Me hate everyone.
Welcome to episode 25 of Angry Drunk Tales. I'm Matt Connerton.
And I'm Jen Coffey.
Usually I get a bit tongue-tied by the time we get to the Friday episode because, I'll just be honest with you. We tape 5 episodes on the weekend, and it's exhausting. Edward is exhausting.
So much fun.
It is fun. It's fun, but it's exhausting. It's a good kind of tired at the end. It's like the kind of tired after a good workout.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And that feeling of relief that we don't have to deal with him anymore in terms of living with him. But we still receive the emails. If you as we left off in episode 24, it was our final email communication with
Asshole, major asshole.
while still living there technically, but far from the end of our emails from him because basically, so here's what we did on July 26th. It was a Sunday. Sunday nights are one of the nights that
asshole, major asshole,
works at the restaurant that he works at. Ordinarily. And we had it planned. We had a bunch of friends come and help us move, essentially. But this was the weird thing. So there have been instances, a lot of times when things were still good and happy, with
asshole, major asshole,
he would ask me if I could give him a ride to work.
Especially on Sundays, it seems.
Especially on Sundays. And I would. Occasionally, he wouldn't need a ride. He would have a friend of his picking him up. And, of course, when the shit hit the fan and we couldn't scrape it off, he stopped asking me for rides, so he would get friends to come pick him up. As a result of this, occasionally, typically he'd have to be at work at 4, so he'd be outside between 3:30, 3:45. He'd be outside waiting for his ride. But there had been, I had noticed, a couple of instances where his ride would be late getting him. Probably because it was someone working at the restaurant who would have to leave during their shift to come get him, and so it wouldn't always necessarily be on time. Well, this particular Sunday, he was watching us move, basically.
I think he swapped shifts.
Do you think he suspected?
I think he worked Saturday to get Sunday off.
You think he thought something was up?
And he acted just like he normally would to go to work.
Yeah.
And then he stood across the street.
Yeah, because it was awkward.
For over an hour.
And it was about an hour and a half, I think, because I went and picked you up so we could meet everybody. Everybody was meeting there like at 3:45 or something because he was usually gone by 3:30. And so I went and picked you up, and we get there. We were the first ones there, obviously. And he was still there. And I remember he was outside waiting for his ride, and I was just like, "What's up? You waiting for your ride?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I remember thinking that, I don't know if it was just that he was surprised to see you, but he seemed like he was acting a little funny.
Yeah.
Like he knew. Maybe it was paranoia on my part. I don't know. But something seemed a little funny about how he reacted. And then I was watching him through the window. You know, Jesse showed up. Some other people showed up to help move the rest of our stuff. And I remember watching him from our window because I could see the street. And he was just kind of lurking around out there.
Yep. That's all he did.
He was watching. And I don't think it was until after 5 when he finally was gone. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he did switch shifts, and maybe, he obviously eventually went somewhere, but
Probably
he was
drinking.
He was out there
But
for
he
a
didn't have
long
his
time.
backpack.
Yeah, that's true. But he was out there for a long time watching us.
Yep.
But, we did what we had to do. We got everything out. And then, of course, so everything you hear now as far as these emails will be after our move. But we got everything out, well done before he came home. Angela left her keys. Oh, interesting thing happened. So Angela, of course, had also made the decision to leave, but she wasn't leaving until the end of the month. But she changed her mind when, during a conversation, a brief exchange with Angela, we mentioned to her that
Asshole. Major asshole.
had admitted to me that he had entered her room when she wasn't there. Totally freaked her out.
Yep.
Remember how she reacted? She was totally freaked.
Freaked out.
And
She was literally carrying things.
thank God this worked out well. She was moving right around the corner, and they let her bring her stuff in and move in early.
Yep.
She was literally moving around the corner. Really, really. So it actually worked out okay. So she just had to.
But she was moving into a proper 2A home where safety is definitely not an issue.
Right. And some random stranger with a pickup truck ended up offering to help her move some stuff too, which was really nice.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, she was like, okay, I'm leaving now. Which worked out better for everyone too, because, and this is one thing that we hadn't really thought through. And I know Angela doesn't seem to hold any ill will toward us, and we want to have her on the show at some point.
And she wants to be on the show.
And she wants to come on to talk about it, because obviously she's a huge part of this story. But the thing that I felt a little badly about in the moment was I realized something that we hadn't really considered, and I don't know how we would have resolved it either. But if she had stayed, but we had left, what was it going to be like for her being the only one left in that apartment with
Asshole. Major asshole.
especially knowing how furious he was going to be when he came home and saw that we had left? What was going to happen? And we hadn't really thought that part out, and I felt badly when I realized we hadn't considered that, but what, I mean...
Well, we had been communicating, though, Angela.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And she was aware that when we were moving and all of that, she knew all of that stuff up front.
Yeah.
Her choices as to when she left, she would be the first one to tell you were her own.
Right.
But when she found out from you that
Asshole. Major asshole.
had said that, it completely wigged her out. It freaked her out to think that somebody was, in her personal space.
Yeah.
And rightfully so.
Yep.
And thankfully, everything everything worked itself right out, that she was able to get everything out at the same time.
Yeah. That worked out.
And we had a
well.
lot of good hands on deck, so to speak.
Yep.
There were a lot of good people that were there, and they were helping her, helping us. It was a really great team effort.
Absolutely. So we did, of course, get an email from
Asshole. Major asshole.
We knew this was coming. This came. We should mention too what happened with your website.
Oh, yeah.
This cannot be a coincidence.
The very same day, on the 26th, my website turned into a Viagra ad.
That night. So it was after.
Yeah, that night.
It was after the move. That was
But
Ed's vengeful.
The
act.
irony to that was my website was in the process of migrating to an out-of-state server with a whole new webmaster that was redesigning and cleaning info and everything, and was the first person, and I think the only person, to actually see the Viagra ad page, which was pretty lame. And
Yeah.
been there, done that. Couldn't you think of something better? I mean,
Well, the funny thing
you're a
is,
coder.
Right.
I would expect more.
well, and plus, remember how he had bragged
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Disappointing.
when he was threatening
Napoleon Bonaparte.
about how creative he can be.
Yeah.
And then what does he do to get vengeance? Viagra ads? I mean, come on, dude.
That's so lame.
Pretty lame. So, what we're going to do is I will now present to you the dramatic reading of the email. We only got one email that night, and we thought that might be it. Of course, it turned out not to be.
No,
But we'll finish
not
off.
at all.
We'll finish off the week with this email, and here it is. I appreciate how you all organized that move so effectively. At the end of the day, it makes my life so much easier, by the way. But what's even better is how you and Angela, and there's a few nights ago, you sat and lied right to my face. Which kind of proves every reason why I was glad you all moved out too, by the way. Oh, thank you for leaving your trash and dirty litter box. Proves everything I've said too, about none of you ever cleaning anything. I know you are quite full of yourself because you do a cable access show. To me, that doesn't prove a whole lot, since basically for a few bucks, anyone, even Johnny, can do a cable access show. But you use that show and your podcast as though those things mean something in the real world. I actually felt very good to see you all gone, even though Angela did steal an AC. Now I can rent to one roommate and share the rent and bills. I have about 10 viewings already scheduled, by the way. People in their 40s and 50s with real jobs and such. At the end of the day, every one of you went beyond whatever I gave an inch on anything. And yes, I know Jesse is a true saint to everyone except me. Except you two also mentioned he had a difficult time with his dad, by the way. So good long and good riddance. But seeing as how there were 4 keys out there and I only got back 3, I will be changing the locks tomorrow a.m. Still wondering why Jesse held on to a key after he himself moved out. At this point, however, I am glad to see you all gone. Simplifies things greatly for me. There you have it. That was our email from
Asshole. Major asshole.
that night.
That's right. And you would think that would be the end. But alas, it's not.
By the
Not
way,
even close.
By the way, he had no right. At the end of the day, he had no right to be changing the locks the next day because we were paid till the end of the month.
And at the end of the day, the air conditioner in question was
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yep. But
and never retrieved by Apple.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
But I point out the key thing specifically because that comes up a lot in future emails.
Yes.
And you know what? I threw the keys in the trash because, like I said, he had no right to change the locks or to threaten to do so. We were paid till the end of the month. We had every right. So what if we took all our stuff out? We had every right to enter that apartment at any point until the end of the month. So he was in the wrong threatening to change the locks. But if he's changing the locks, fine.
Well, he's
Toss keys
already
in the
admitted
trash.
to tax fraud, tax evasion, made threats to hire people to break kneecaps when he was threatening.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
He's just on a roll. I mean,
Yes.
do you expect anything less?
So that appeared to be, at the time,
Asshole. Major asshole.
his parting shot to us. But we didn't know, by the way, at the time. Okay, maybe that's the last time we'll ever hear from him. Now that we're finally out and now that we left the way we did, he's got to tell us off one last time. But for those of you who enjoy this program, I have good news. It's only the beginning. We've
Oh,
got
yes.
lots more emails. The harassment continues, and it only gets better and better. And the things he admits to, by the way, in the coming emails and the threats he makes, it just gets more bizarre. And
Yeah.
there's a
That
lot more
seems
to
to
come.
be that type of individual's go-to.
So I guess that will be our Friday
Right.
cliffhanger. What does he start saying to us now in the emails going forward, now that we're completely out? So you'll all find out on Monday.
You will start to find out on Monday.
It just gets even more insane. But so for now, I guess we'll finish out the week.
How well do you know your roommate?
If
Do
it's
you know them?
do you? Good night.
Night.
You think that you're so cool, that you're nobody's fool, but you got a personality, yeah, just like a bucket full of pee. How does it feel to be a real asshole? You're such a creep, you look like a sheep, asshole. You know you've got no shame, and you've got such a stupid name. And one day you'll finally shut your trap, 'cause you are the cream of the crap. How does it feel to be a real asshole? You're such a creep, you look like a sheep, asshole, asshole, asshole. You're such an asshole. You always look like an idiot. This may be news for you. You are the king of all stupidness. Maybe I'm an asshole too. Maybe I'm an asshole too. Just like you. You're such an asshole. How does it feel to be a real asshole? You're such a creep, you look like a sheep, asshole. How does it feel to be a real asshole? You're such a creep, you look like a sheep, asshole. You're such an asshole. Maybe I'm an asshole too. Maybe I'm an asshole too.
IPMNation.com.